Hi, I'm Amy,
And I'm Wesley.
and we just watched My Little Bride. It's a South Korean film about a courtship and an arranged marriage.
The antagonists are Park Sing-min, this
So
gentleman behind
Yin
me.
is the young lady behind me. They came to see their ill grandfather who had asked them to help keep a promise that he made to Park's grandfather. So Yin and Park were raised as siblings.
And the promise is that they would marry and join the two families because their grandfathers were such good friends. They joined the military together, and that was where the promise was made. However, because they are siblings, they are not on board with the idea of an arranged marriage between the two of them. It's not a bad thing that they are against the arranged marriage. However, it does reflect slightly poorly upon the grandfather if they choose not to, because he loses face.
So he pulls a little trick. He talks to the doctor, and the doctor tells him that he's getting better, and he decides not to share that information. So he fakes a illness and is in the hospital and tricks them into agreeing to this arranged marriage. Arranged marriages are very common in South Korea. The head of the family is always the oldest male. He also is the one that needs to approve of the marriages. So they did agree, and they went ahead and got married. Also, during their ceremony, she was wearing a white dress, but you also see at the reception some traditional dress. A hanbok is a dress shirt or jacket with a wraparound skirt. Both men and women can wear this type of clothing in South Korea.
There are noticeable differences between the male and the female hanbok. The female's shirt would be more like a blouse. It would be more frilly or feminine in nature, and the man's would be a little bit more cut for a man. So it's not as though they're both wearing what we would consider a dress. They are very much tailored to the gender.
Also, you'll see the traditional dress at meal times. Mealtime is food is a huge part of relationships in South Korea. The women prepare the meals and serve the food too. And the oldest male usually initiates the mealtime by eating first because they show respect to their seniors. It's very important in their culture. They also will wear traditional clothing during the meal times.
At the meal, not only does the oldest person eat first, however, he's also served first, and then in descending order through the male sex. Then the females are served in descending order of age. Age is their determining factor in who has what kind of rank and what kind of position. The father or grandfather or oldest male member has the sole responsibility of providing for the family's welfare. However, it is every member of the family who has a hand in their honor. Even though the male members have more to do with that than the female members, it really is a responsibility of everybody to make sure that the honor of the household is maintained.
They're also raised in a culture where small children aren't disciplined like they are here until the age of about 6 or 7. At that age, they start recognizing who their senior is and how to talk to them with respect, their tone of voice, things like of that nature. Also, you'll see that in the movie several times that they refer to somebody as being their senior. Also civilization is done with food and drink. That's a huge part of their culture. Gift giving is very important in Korean culture.
Their religious practices are also extremely oriented towards their family. Even though they are, as a people, around 26% Christian and 26% Buddhist, their overall defining factor in religious practices or observances is their family. for 3 generations, that would be your mother, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, you would worship or remember them in a religious type ceremony until you yourself passed on. You can even see how much their importance of food is in this practice, in that during their chesiks, they prepare food for their departed ancestors and set it out in a religious observance once a year. Throughout the year, there are several times in which they pray at shrines or meditate at shrines for their departed family.
I think this is a really cute film. It takes a while for them to realize that they do want to be together. Park knows before she does. It takes till the end of the movie for her to realize what she's feeling and want to serve the role as a wife. So in the beginning, you see a lot of the brother-sister type of interactions, which also brings a lot of the comedy into the film.
Park, he realizes it a little bit before she does, that he is very open to the idea of an actual marriage with her. He starts to notice that he kept some stuff from when he was in the military, her letters to him. In South Korea, it is compulsory for the men to join the military at the age of 18 and serve a term. However, they are technically in the military from 18 to 35. However, after their first term, they're just on reserve or called up for drill at specific points in time or just whenever the need arises. Their rank is pretty well the same as ours in the military. They have the same system of rank. However, age is a big factor in that as well.
Also, the family obligations, being obligated to your family even after marriage, your first obligation is to your parents, and then to your oldest brothers, and on down the line with the males, and then to your wife or husband, and then to your oldest son, and then daughters. Because the daughter is expected to leave the family and go become part of her husband's family.
She leaves behind her name and any ancestors that she would have through that line. Her ancestors are now his ancestors, in that she no longer would worship her parents or observe religiously her parents as ancestors. She would observe his parents instead, because she is now part of his family. It's really interesting and quite a bit different than the way the Western world works, but it fits into their beliefs that largely come from a Confucius background. Confucius believing that the 5 obligations are between ruler and subject, then husband and wife, then parent and child, and then siblings, and then finally friends. However, they've adopted it to where, above all, your object to the country is the most important thing, as can be seen by the compulsory military involvement, and then to your family, your husband or wife, your siblings, and then your friends.
Overall, very cute movie, lots of comedy. I highly recommend you watch My Little Bride.
Thank you.